Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have guests on that will be talking about the Rob Bender's 8th annual Homecoming Bass Tournament. I have on the club president, Mr. Eddie Champion, and also the marketing and youth director, Mr. Dale Hill. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Alton.
Well, you know what, I was getting ready to bring you gentlemen on, and I saw this says 8th annual Homecoming Bass Tournament. Mr. Champion, talk a little bit about the club, first of all, and you all have been here in our community for 8 years now?
Actually, we've been having this tournament for 8 years. We've actually been in your community for the last 25 years.
25 years?
Yes, we're actually established ourselves from a hunting club back in 1987. So we've actually been coming to West Point Lake for that length of time. And we've decided lately to put on the annual tournament, which actually provides support for our kids' derbies and other things we do in the community.
Very good. You know, I was telling you guys, I'm not, probably an avid fisherman like you all are. I like to go out more so for the relaxation of it. So maybe I'll get an opportunity to come out, and we will talk a little bit about when you all will be having an event here on our lake pretty soon. Talk a little bit about the history, Mr. Champion, if you don't mind, of the club.
The club actually started back in 1987. There were a group of deer hunters actually started the club. We were in Teleferro County, Georgia, and we decided that we'd like to do something during the summer months rather than just go out and do deer hunting during the winter months. So we established a bass club, and our first tournament was on your lake, on Lake West Point. So we decided to make that our home lake, and we've been coming here for the last 25 years, and we decided over the last 8 years to put on an open tournament that would allow us to encompass the community.
Okay, well, very good. And I think you have a little bit more history we're going to get you to share about our lake here momentarily. But let me just ask, Dale, you're the marketing youth director.
I am.
Talk a little bit about your role and the involvement with the tournament.
I think if you're thinking from a marketing perspective, my overall focus and job within the club is to bring a marketing focus. Over the last 6 years, we've decided that what we're doing, we're out of the box thinking organization. We want to kind of push the envelope in terms of visibility of the sport. We want to broaden the visibility of the sport. And we're a large organization, a large club of anglers. And we can use that platform in a very positive way and to be able to strategically market and create marketing opportunities for companies. So we've focused our goals and set goals to go out and have strategic partnership with companies that are looking to broaden their brand within the angling community, going out and getting businesses who can recognize this market as a niche market that they can expose their products in. So we have the abilities within the club. We're a very diverse group of guys and a lot of different skill sets. And one of mine is marketing. Okay. And so we brought that focus to it, and it really has enhanced what we've done. It's given us the opportunity to have partners that really believe in the vision that we're trying to do and how we're trying to affect the local community from an economic standpoint.
Okay, and go ahead and tell us, because I know we're going to have another gentleman that's going to come on. Mr. Champion is the president. We're going to have Mr. Smith that's going to come on, the vice president, and also talk a little bit about the goals that you mentioning there. But go ahead and tell us when that the tournament was going to be taking place, Dale.
Our upcoming homecoming tournament is Saturday, April 13th, 2013. At our beautiful West Point Lake, of course. And we say that because we're very proud of this lake. And I think a lot of people said, it's your home lake. Well, we're from around the metro area and parts of Georgia. A lot of our guys are south of here. We have guys who live here, Noonan, surrounding areas. So it's very important for us to really let people know as we attract anglers from other cities, other states into it. We're very proud of this lake. The history of this lake is a direct correlation to this club, as Mr. Champion mentioned. So we take a lot of pride in it, and we wanted to broaden that and bring in other individuals, because now that West Point has become a stop for some of the more elite events, the Bass Masters, which is coming up in May, the world is finding out about our lake. That's what we've already known, and the local anglers who fish the fishery already have known. Absolutely. So for us, it's an opportunity to really bring focus and bring anglers. And what we do too with our tournament, we really reach out for anglers outside of Georgia, because we understand by bringing individuals into LaGrange, into Troup County, that the economic impact that brings for the community.
Absolutely.
Heads in beds,
That's right.
individuals staying in hotels, buying our gas, buying the food, spending their time, bringing their families, seeing the sights. That's very important to us.
Absolutely. You know, we're talking about all those things, and we're so grateful to have the lake, and, you know, I'm just hoping that the water level will continue to rise so that it
Yes.
can be an enjoyment for everyone that was there. But let me ask you, Mr. Champion, you were talking a little bit about some of the history of the lake, and I think you were sharing with us before we came on about, I think, the largest fish. Talk about that.
Yeah, the largest fish ever caught by a rod bender, a member of our club, was caught on West Point Lake, a 10-pound bass caught by Mr. C.B. Kemp, and C.B. has been around for a long time. But the lake is just a great fishery in the sense that for fun fishing, crappie fishing, brim fishing, there are other types of fish that we actually enjoy with our families other than bass fishing, so it's a great lake for us.
Absolutely. And, you know, and I know that you're talking about getting out, and Dale, you were mentioning too about, you know, kind of giving back to the community as well. And I know that you'll have a segment for the kids. If you just mention that real briefly before we go to a commercial break, and then we'll bring on Mr. Smith. Talk about the involvement with the kids.
Well, that's the other part of my job, and so other individuals in the club, is to we identify opportunities to interface with youth in the community. The Boys and Girls Club, excuse me, church groups, organizations that have special ties with at-risk kids, the local police departments. We try to plug in where we can those individuals, invite those kids out, because most of them have never been to a bass tournament and in that environment. So we try to create those opportunities so we can bring them there. And they come, you know, we try to feed them. We have prizes and giveaways for them. Our sponsors bring things that they can have. So and we're trying to grow that effort.
Okay.
This is really a focus for us this year, and some of the elements that we've involved ourselves in that we're bringing to the tournament this year.
Okay. We're going to take a short commercial break. We're going to bring Mr. Smith on, the Vice President. We'll talk about some of the goals, and we'll talk about how other people can get involved as far as community support, and also talk about some of your sponsors, if you don't mind, just a second, okay?
All right.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're back for more City Week in just a moment. Welcome back to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sitting down with members of the Rob Bender's Bass Tournament, and I have now with us the Vice President, Mr. Richard Smith, and also still joining us is Mr. Dale Hill. Mr. Smith, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Well, it's a pleasure to sit down with you all, and as I was telling your president, and I'm just kind of, you know, flabbergasted that you guys have been here in our community for such a long time. But I noticed you have come on now to talk a little bit about the goals of the club. Talk a little bit about that and what it means to the kids here in our community.
Okay. There's not a day that goes by that either a child I try to reach out to and touch, and or some of the other individuals within the local community, because they have no idea that tournament bass fishing, for an example, is of this magnitude. Throughout the United States, the nation, basically we have about, the bass fishing is about an $80 billion industry. It's really huge. And we've talked about the economic impact, but from a sociological impact standpoint, it reaches out to various aspects of the community, touching lives like you wouldn't believe. Quite a few years ago, being originally from Detroit, I had the opportunity to fish West Point. And I never stopped coming. And unbeknownst to me at that particular time that it would have such an impact on me that this is now my home lake.
Okay.
Okay. But from a diversity standpoint, we try to bring as many people in to not only just the community here, but into tournament bass fishing with the rod vendors. And we're just a huge, diverse group with a lot of abilities.
Oh, very good. You know, I saw a video from last year's episode of it, and the kids all seemed like they were having such a wonderful time. And I know that, you know, you're saying you're a diverse group. It was, you know, young, middle-aged, older, so, you know, on all walks of life was there. And I think fishing is one of those universal things that
really
you
is.
either like it or you don't.
Right.
And those that like it, they really like it.
That's
you know?
right.
Talk a little bit, Dale, if you don't mind, for us. There are community sponsors that you all have helping to make this the big support that and the big success that it is. Talk a little bit about that for us.
It's very important for the community to know that some of our partners and sponsors that are working with us are in the community. Red Roof Inn here in LaGrange is our host hotel over on 119, Highway 109, I'm sorry. And that's our host hotel. There will be the primary location for where most of the anglers will be staying. Our real partners, and I want to send a special shout out to them, is the LaGrange Troup County Bureau of Tourism. Paige Estes and Laura Jennings and Kim Denmark and the staff there have been just a joy to work with. They've reached out to us. They've given us support in our efforts. They recognize the significance of what we've done. The City Council, Mr. Edmondson, the mayor, individual yourself, have recognized what we're bringing to the community. And that's really important. From a media standpoint, we've got the Eagle 102.3, Mr. Coleman Weiss and his organization, radio station, and KISS 104. KISS 104.1, the urban station, which is also broadcast out of LaGrange, is also one of our media partners. So we're very excited to have. That's the first element that we're going to do that particular piece this year, and that's really exciting for us to have a live remote broadcast from the weigh-in, and that's going to bring in more of the general public and more awareness about what we're doing.
Absolutely. You're talking about the media outreach and being able to get the word out. I think that's so important. And even for some of our young kids to be able to get opportunity just to kind of go up and speak, on the mic and hear that voice transmitted across the airways.
Sure.
It may be a first timer for them.
Sure.
And talking about our young people, Mr. Smith, and you're talking about your goals there. Is there an age range for the kids? Is there, is there an age that you all just don't deal with, or just bring everybody?
Just bring everybody. I mean, there's no age that's unlimited.
Okay.
I mean, that we limit ourselves to, because at some point in time, somebody's going to impact that child. We just would love to be impacting that child from a positive standpoint, regardless if that's 2, 4, 5, 6 years old, all the way up to 20.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
Well, very good, very good. Registration, Dale, is there a registration for it, and what is the cost for the young folks?
Well, it's free for the general public, but the costs that are involved for the anglers that are fishing the tournament, it's $200 per boat, $100 per man, is a registration fee, and that's the cost to be in the tournament. Its first price is $5,000, so it's quite an incentive to fish with us.
Absolutely.
We will pay 1 in every 5 boats, so that's in the tournament. So we pay as far down the list as we can, so that everybody really kind of can have something to win.
Okay. And talking about win, I understand that you all will also be giving away door prizes, and you might even need additional door prizes. So go ahead and
we will. A lot of our sponsors have provided us prizes and giveaways to give away. All of the anglers that are actually fishing the event will get a free bag from our sponsors with different items that they like to put in their hands as a part of being a part of the event. For some of our sponsors, we'll be providing giveaways that we will do raffles for. The Rug Doctor will be giving away a $700 carpet cleaner machine. Rug Doctor is one of our new sponsors that have come on this year, and we're going to be doing that at the weigh-in. So there's going to be a lot of cool things given away. Our sponsor out of Columbus, Georgia, Extreme Marine, which has been a joy to work with, they also will doing door prizes and giveaways on site, and they'll be bringing out boats. And our partners at LaGrange Toyota, they're bringing out some of the trucks, the new Tundras, Tacomas, for the public to take a look at, sit in and see, and like to thank them for that as well.
Okay, well, very good. I know that there are 2 starting times. You have the anglers, and then you have the general public. And let's finish up by talking about those 2 groups and where the tournament will actually be held, if you don't mind, Dale.
Okay. Well, we start at Safe Light for the tournament. Registration will start for guys who want to sign up at the ramp. We'll start at 4:30 a.m. And we will start signing up until just about time to blast off. Okay. The tournament runs to 3 o'clock. And the general public is invited to come out around 2 for activities that will start. We will have some outdoor activities for the kids, some games that they can play on site during the time that the tournament is, the weigh-in is starting to build up. So we've got a lot of things going on for them.
Okay. All right. Well, very good. And that's going to be starting out at Pine Road Park on April 13th. Anglers at 7 a.m. and then the general public out at 2 p.m. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank both of you all for coming out and sharing this information. I know that the weather will be beautiful, the lake will be filled, and you're just going to have a glorious time that day.
Absolutely. We want to thank you for your support and allowing us to come on your show. We want to thank the local city for supporting us. And we ask anglers, our goal is to bring people together from all walks of life, races and backgrounds, to come out and fellowship in a situation like bass fishing.
Well, very good. Well, definitely know it's going to be a wonderful tournament there.
It will be.
All right.
Thank you.
You gentlemen both for coming on today. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
All right.
much.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're back for more City Week in just a moment. Welcome back to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Now I have Laura Jennings, the director of LaGrange Troup County Chamber of Commerce, tourism director. Laura, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure to sit down with you, and I know that you're the lady with the finger on the pulse and know about all the exciting things that will be happening in the way of tourism here in our city and also the county. But before we jump into those happenings, talk a little bit about your role.
Well, my role is to get people to come, obviously, and enjoy our attractions here. The lake, of course, being our biggest tourism attraction, and then Hills and Dales Estate, Explorations and Antiquity, and then some of the lesser known things. And so that's mainly my goal, and my real goal is to get them to spend the night, to stay in our hotels. So even if they stay in our hotels and then head to Columbus or Little White House in Warm Springs, that makes me happy too. We want them to just stay in our hotels, spend money, fill up their cars here, and that sort of thing. We have 1,130 employees in the county, LaGrange, Troup County, who are employed in the tourism industry, and that's, a significant number. And, it's about creating jobs for our community, and tourism is a big part of that.
Absolutely. 1,130, did you say, employed in tourism?
Yes.
So everybody we meet should be at marketing LaGrange, in other words.
Absolutely. That's right. If you have children that are playing travel ball, for example, suggest that they have a tournament here. If you are family reunion, have your family reunion here. I mean, everyone in the community could be a part of tourism.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. And it's so important. We just finished up with the Rob Bender's Bass
Yes.
tournament that's going to be coming up in April. And I know that you have information about another fishing tournament that's going to be coming up. But before we get started with that, let's talk a little bit about something that's going to be happening for the kids. Because we know we're always looking for things for our youth to do. And I understand that there's going to be a kids triathlon coming up.
There is, absolutely. The last weekend of April, J.J. Kersey with the Troup County Parks and Rec Department has advocated to have a kids triathlon come to our community. It's a real growing segment of triathlons. And the neat part is, from a tourism standpoint, is that the kids triathlon is usually one day, and then the adult triathlon's the next day. So that kind of forces them, if you will, to stay in our hotels.
Okay.
So we like that. So one Saturday, there'll be that Saturday, the last weekend of April, that Saturday morning will be a teen triathlon. And it's a competitive thing that leads toward collegiate points and that sort of thing. And that will be at Schaefer Herd Park. And then in the afternoon, there will be one at LaGrange College's campus for children, kids triathlon. And I can give you information if you call at the chamber, who to get in touch with to register. But the kids triathlon, they'll swim in the natatorium, they'll have their run, and then they'll ride their bikes all in that area. And then the next morning will be a big triathlon at Schaefer Herd. And that one we've had for years and years here. The new part is the kids thing, and we're calling it the LaGrange Triathlon Festival.
Okay.
And so we're excited about that one.
Absolutely. Talking about getting the kids out, and it just kind of goes hand in hand with some of the things that the NFL is promoting, the Play 360, and of course our First Lady, and getting kids involved. And I think it's so important that we get our young folks, out of the house, off of the video games, and get them in activities going to help them to exercise the heart.
Yep.
and invigorate them.
That's a great point.
Absolutely. And then of course, the kids are going to do what they see their parents do. So if they're involved and the adults involved in the triathlon, hopefully the kids want to be more involved as well.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the last weekend in April, of course.
Yes.
Okay, very good. And I know that there's some other things that the community can get involved in, and you, the one that's talking about the early bird breakfast. Talk about the one that's coming up too, and who's going to be the guest
On April
speaker.
9th, the Chamber's Early Bird Breakfast, which is held at the Delavant in downtown LaGrange. It's the coffee's at 7, then at 7:30 the breakfast is served. But from 7 to 7:30 we'll have Keith Pochet. He's one of the 100 Bassmaster Elite anglers. He lives in Alabama, and he'll be coming over with his wrap boat and his truck and meet people, and you can talk to him. And then we've got a representative from the state of Georgia, Maggie Potter, and she'll be coming and talking about the movies made in Georgia. Believe it or not, the state of Georgia had a little movie, but it was about deliverance and all those movies that were made long ago. So they've updated it to include movies like Blind Side and all of that. So that will debut, and we'll show that. And then we're going to show snippets of films that have been filmed here in LaGrange and Troup County in the last 2 years. And so that'll be neat, because I think people might have remembered different ones, but this is a chance for them to see all of them in one little thing and realize the impact that it's having in our community.
Absolutely. You know, you talk about that, like I said, the deliverance was made so long ago, a lot of our young folks probably don't even know anything about that. But there have been other opportunities that movies have been made here in our county and city and things of that nature. So it'll be great to see that. Yeah. And as we go out and talk to the lake, because I know that is a big attractor for our community, there's the Bass Masters tournament that's been coming up. Talk about that for us.
Well, that's exciting. This is the second time that we as a community have hosted the Bassmaster Elite Tournament. They came in 2011, and within 12 hours they called me and said, we want to come back. We are blown away by the attention your community has given, the turnout, and I knew that would all happen. We're a community that always gets behind anything that we do. So we decided to skip a year, though, and ride out the publicity that came from that, which has been lengthy. We've been in a lot of magazines and publications. The winner was Steve Kennedy from Auburn, and so whenever they write about Steve Kennedy, they talk about West Point Lake and his win there. So we've gotten a lot of publicity, and so it's May 2nd through the 5th. They're coming back, and it'll start on a Thursday morning. Actually, on April 1st, they cannot fish. The lake is off limits to them from April 1st until the week before the tournament. And then that Monday they can come in and start fishing our lake. So a lot of them have been sneaking in the last couple weeks while they can before it's off limits. They don't always use their own rat boat. They're much more subtle and sneaky.
Okay.
So, but they've been coming. I've heard of them talking their strategy and that sort of thing. So it's May 2nd through the 5th, and the exciting part is we have a free family festival on Saturday and Sunday. It starts with a weigh-in on Thursdays. Every morning there's a weigh-in at 6:40 in the morning. And if you've not been, it's awesome. You go to the mega ramp at Pine Red Park, and you can see the anglers lined up. You can look in their boats and see what kind of gear they have. You see them getting ready. Often they'll talk to you, and then they just launch at 6:40 in the morning in kind of flights, and it's just a neat thing to see. And then they'll come back for the weigh-in around 3 o'clock. And of course get penalized for every minute that they're late, and there'll be the big weigh-in. But so that starts on Thursday, but on Saturday and Sunday we have a big festival with rock climbing wall, a kids village, sand castle, the sand sculpture that was so popular last year. It's being sponsored by West Georgia Tech this year, so it'll feature West Georgia Tech things. But anyway, so it's going to be just a great, and everything's free. That Bassmasters insists that everything be free. We have somebody that's going to be having a drawing for a big green egg. Oh my. So it's going to be a neat event. We're going to have great food out there, and they were just amazed at the turnout that we had. So I'm advising everybody, don't wash your cars. Buy a raincoat if you don't have one, so that we can guarantee sunny weather for that weekend.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of wonderful things coming up in and around the lake here in our community, and we're just so pleased that, you know, the anglers and all the fishermen and everybody else coming in, the movie makers are coming to our community and really bringing attention to Troup County, you know, the whole area, because we definitely need it. And I'm going to thank you, Laura, for coming on and sharing this information.
You're most welcome.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alton.
All right.